everybody, AJ back with you here. Today we're going over the M1 Mac Mini, kind of a 9-month review. So we'll be right back. Hey everybody, welcome back. Like I said, today in the intro, we're going over going over my M1 Mac Mini. I had it for about 9 months now. I'm still having a few issues with it, but it's nothing that, time and patience that you kind of get used to and becomes the norm. So forgive me. I want to jump into my phone right here. I've got some notes to go over, so I'll be playing with those. But first things first, it's still kind of slow. I've installed the majority of my programs on an external SSD, so they are a little slow to open. But I'm okay with that, at least as long as they work, they open, and they do exactly what they're supposed to. I'm cool. Just remember that if you're going to get one of these and you're going to install it on an external, you may run into that issue. That's unless you go with the higher storage options. So next thing is I'm still having some Bluetooth issues. Not many, some of the recent updates and even earlier updates that they did to the OS pretty much solved them. So the only one that I've been consistently having is with my Bluetooth keyboard, which is an Apple. That's not a third-party one, and even then, it still loses connection. It's got a full charge. I've upgraded everything, made sure Bluetooth works, all that. I'm not spending another $100 some odd on a keyboard. Just not doing it. So I plugged it in, and the charging cable in, and just used it that way. Worked perfectly fine, no issues. But it just got to the point, I really do need a keyboard that has the numeric pad on it. And like I said, I'm not dropping, that kind of coin on another keyboard. So I just got out my old keyboard that I had from my Mac Pro. Works great. Actually, I prefer it more because it's got the nice quiet keyboard on it. So I'm not hearing the clickety clackety every time I'm typing, which is, I just like that. I'm not into the whole mechanical key thing, so yeah, whatever. So, but that's really about it, other than just one issue that is kind of annoying. But I mean, that's kind of the developer's fault and Apple's fault at the same time. They developed the program, they released it for M1, saying that it would work to a degree, which it really didn't. Of course, I'm at fault and I stand corrected. They did not release it compatible, but they had it available to buy for Macs, just not an M1 capable version. But when they did release it, they said it was capable with workarounds. And you had to go through Rosetta. They had to create a script, the whole 9 yards. And the reason why they had to do that is because Apple, in their infinite wisdom, hasn't upgraded something, I'm not exactly sure, hasn't upgraded part of the video codec or whatever they need to do to make this program compatible. So it's kind of on both of them for not having it work for Final Cut Pro, but it works it works everywhere, I guess, on the Windows system. Obviously not Final Cut, but I know it works well for in the Windows domain, but just not on an M1. So, like I said, we're being held captive and at gunpoint by Apple, if you want to take it that way. So I use it, but I just use Final Cut Pro as a standalone as it is, without that plug-in for it, until I know it's going to work and me not having to use a workaround. I'm just not a fan of workarounds. Other than that, that's really all I have on that. Now, when it comes to this, am I going to buy another one with these new M1s, M1X, M2s, whatever you want to call them? I'm of the mindset, mantra, whatever you want to call it, if it ain't broke, don't fix it. So I'm not going to be upgrading when these new ones come out, because mine works pretty much 99% of the time with no issues. Like I said, other than the slow program opening. But Price point, it may become an issue later on down the road that with these new chipsets that are coming out, how they're going to release them, with more and more added features. I may actually physically have to buy one if the workload gets any heavier, which, in all honesty, I hope it does. But as of right now, I'm not going to drop the money on one since mine's not broke. And that's just, I mean, that comes down to what your checkbook, your bank account can afford. Mine could possibly afford it, but do I really want to do that? No, not right now. Just in case something comes up that I want to buy later or use it for an emergency fund. Now, I will say this though: if you've been holding out on the M1 waiting, I will tell you this: spend the money on the storage if you can afford it. I got the 256 on this model. I'm wishing I'd got the 512 like I did on my MacBook Air. Makes a huge, huge difference. So spend the money on your memory and your storage. Let me repeat that. Spend the money on your memory and your storage. It will save you in the long run. Yes, you can add extra storage because drives are getting cheaper day by day, month by month, year by year. But to have it actually in the computer with the OS saves a huge amount of time for opening and operating programs. Now, I'm by no means an expert on this, never claimed to be, never will be. But if you want more frequent stuff from a guy who actually knows what's going on and does more deep dives and researches into this, go check out Kevin Ross. I'll put his link right up here. Great guy, reviews a lot of stuff, very knowledgeable on this Mac stuff and other stuff, and he's pretty cool too. So that's about all I got right now. Everybody just stay cool, have fun, and remember, treat others like you want to be treated. I'll see y'all soon.